Hello students, last class we had discussed about the definition of a disease. We had discussed about the causes of the disease. Okay, then what is the disease, what is the reason behind the disease. Now in this class we will study about the mode of spread of disease. Mode of spread of disease means how the disease is spreading, how the disease can be spread from one person to another, because we are studying about the infectious disease. In last class what I have told you that about the infectious disease is that infectious disease is that type of disease in which some infectious agents come into our body and infect us. Okay, and these disease can be transmitted from one person to another person. Thus this infectious disease is also known as communicable disease. Okay, now, how they can be transferred from one person to another? What are the modes of transferring the disease from one person to another? So, there are various modes. Via air they can transfer, through water they can transfer, through vector they can transfer, through sexual contact the disease can be transferred from one person to the another. Let's see one by one how from the air the disease can be transferred. If the disease is transferring from the air, the disease is known as airborne disease. Okay, if the disease is transferring from water, it is known as waterborne disease. If we are transferring from vector, then it is known as vector-borne disease. And if a disease is transferring from the sexual contact, then it is known as sexually transmitted disease or as STD. Okay. Now, let us understand one by one with an example. Airborne disease means disease are spreading through the air. Okay, now how? Suppose, take an example. If the person is standing in front of me or with me or beside me and I am suffering from cold and cough, I sneeze, the air droplets which are coming from my sneezing, they get mixed with the air which are present in the atmosphere. The same air is inhaled by the person who is standing with me. So the tiny droplets which are coming out from my nose, it contains that microbes which are causing the disease. Now when that person will inhale that droplets via air, these infectious causing agents or these microbes goes inside the lungs and causes the disease. So the various diseases caused by the airborne disease are the are the tuberculosis, common cold. Okay, these are the diseases caused by the airborne disease. That means if I cough, if I sneeze, droplets, the tiny droplets which are coming from my mouth, they get mixed into the air, and these tiny droplets containing the microbes. So the person who are standing with me, they inhale the same air which contains the microbes, and this microbe starts a new infection in their body by entering the lungs. Okay, or by any organ which the microbes is targeted. Okay, and in this way the disease which I'm having is get transferred to the disease who the person who was standing with me. So I am an ill person, the person is healthy, but you see how the disease is transmitted. So the example is tuberculosis, common cold. Okay, next is the waterborne disease. This disease is through the drinking contaminated water. Okay, how it is possible? Suppose a ill person or a sick person, a person who is having gut infection, if he or she is passing the stool. Now when this stool gets mixed with the water and the water is not purified and directly go to their home, then what happen? You drink that water which contains various toxins and various infectious diseases, and this causes the disease like a cholera. Okay, so waterborne disease is what? Cholera, which is how it is gone through your body by the drinking contaminated or poor healthy water. That's why it is said that whenever you drink water, purify the water first. Either boil the water or use the RO, like that you can purify the water before drinking. So in this way the toxins which are present in the stool get mixed with the water, and this way the toxins or the infectious agents goes into the body by drinking the water, and the person may suffer from a disease like cholera. So waterborne disease is there are various waterborne diseases, but let's focus on one example, cholera. Okay, next one is your vector. What are the vector borne diseases? Vector-borne disease. Vector-borne disease is what? Vector himself will not cause the disease. Okay. Vector is an agent. Through an infectious agent, it will cause the disease. Okay. Means vector through an animal, it will, vector is an intermediate. Okay. From the animal, it will carry the infectious agent, and through the animal, it carry those infectious agent to the healthy person. So vector is the intermediaries between the animals who carry the infectious agent and the animals who delivers this infectious agent. Okay, so vector himself will not cause any disease, he is just intermediate. Understood? So what are the vector borne diseases? Suppose take an example of mosquito. A mosquito bites an infected person. Okay, when he bites an infected person, the infection of that person, he will comes into the saliva of that mosquito, and if the person is suffering from the malaria, then the plasmodium which are present in their body, it is secret, it is taken by whom? By the mosquito from the blood. Okay, now when the same mosquito who bite the infected person who is suffering from malaria, if that mosquito bite the another healthy person, what happened? He delivers that plasmodium into the blood of that healthy person, and plasmodium get mixes with the blood. Now this plasmodium directly goes to the liver and starting damaging all the cells, and as a result the person is having symptoms like fever, headache. As it all gets worsened day by day, RBC cells get burst, and a person now diagnosed that the person is suffering from the malaria, because plasmodium is a pathogen which causes the disease like malaria. So how this is happening? First, insects, the mosquito bites an infected person. From the infected person, he carries the infectious agent, and from there he goes to the healthy person. Bite that healthy person, delivers this infectious agent into their blood. It mixes with the blood. From the blood, it goes to the liver and damage it, and thus this infectious agents multiply, and causes a disease like malaria. Okay, so vector-borne disease example is malaria. Next is your sexual contact. How the disease can be transmitted from the sexual contact. There is this difference between the sexual contact and physical contact. These diseases are transmitted only and only through the sexual contact. That is AIDS. AIDS and syphilis. AIDS and syphilis, these diseases can transmitted from one person to another person through sexual contact. Okay. This is the mode of the disease, that this disease can be spread to this person to that person, healthy to ill person. Now we will discuss about the organ specific and tissue specific manifestation. Okay, that means जो भी whatever the disease, whatever the microbes coming into our body, where they go, where they targeted, क्योंकि हर एक आपके इन्फेक्शियस एजेंट का एक ऑर्गन होता है जहां वो टारगेट करेगा. तो फ्रॉम वेयर दे टारगेट, विच ऑर्गन्स दे अफेक्टेड, वी विल डिस्कस हियर. ओके, so point of entry of the microbes or point of the entry of the infectious agent is different to the point of the infection. Okay, जिस point से वो entry करते हैं और जो point में वो infect करते हैं हमारी body को, these two is different. Okay, here POE is denote point of entry and POI means point of infection. Okay, we will see the four diseases in which how they are entering, how they are infected, what are their symptoms, and what immune response the body is giving. Okay, now see, in the disease like tuberculosis, point of entry is the microbes or the infectious agent enter our body through the mouth. Okay, from any medium, through the mouth or through the nose, they entering our body. From the mouth, from the nose, where they will go? They will go to the lungs. Okay, and they start infecting the cells of the lungs. When your lungs is get targeted, you start the symptoms like cough, breathlessness, okay, difficulty in breathing. This type of symptoms arises. If you are having cough, you go to the physician. Doctor will simply give you the drugs which can relieve cough. But after 1 week also your cough is not subsiding, again you go to the doctor and also complains about that ki along the cough I'm suffering, I'm having difficulty in breathing and the blood is coming out from my sputum. Then he will tell you about a certain lab test. After lab test, he diagnosed that no, you are not having simple cold and cough, you are having the disease like tuberculosis, because here Bacteria goes into your lungs and start damaging the lungs, and start the symptoms like coughing, symptoms like difficulty in breathing, symptoms like breathlessness, or also your blood is coming from the sputum. So after this, all these symptoms, the doctor will examine you by giving you, by taking some lab tests, and diagnose that a person is having and you are having tuberculosis. Now what immune response will be seen? Now it is clear that you are having tuberculosis. Your immune response is how they are reacted. Inflammation is seen in some parts of the body. Okay, so immune response of the tuberculosis is what? Inflammation in some areas. Next is your jaundice. The point of entry of the jaundice is also from the mouth. From the mouth, the microbes will be entered and it is targeted your organ. Which organ? It targeted the organ liver. So, when the liver is targeted, the symptoms appears yellowish sheen on the eyes, yellowish sheen on the nose, on the palm, yellow color is seen. Also stomach ache. So, these types of symptoms are appearing on your body, on your this type of changes is seen in your body. You go to the physician, you tell the symptoms, then he or she will take some test, and then he comes to know that no, you are suffering from the jaundice because your liver, the liver is attacked, and this microbes also attacking the cells nearby the liver. Through these attacks you will appearing this type of symptoms. Understood? Now the immune response is what? You are having fever, you are having headache, so this type of immune response is coming. Next is the malaria. How the in malaria, what is the point of entry? Point of entry is any body surface, क्योंकि mosquito कहीं भी bite कर सकता है. So in the any body surface, the plasmodium or the pathogen coming into our body and directly targeted into the liver, and from the liver it bursts the RBC. We will start the symptoms like fever, pain, headache. Then we go to doctor. He or she, after taking some lab test, prove that we are having malaria. So how they are targeted? If they are targeted lungs, then the disease will be different. If they are targeted liver, the disease will be different. So all these diseases are confirmed only by taking the lab test. Okay, not only for the symptoms we can final the disease. Symptoms से disease की finalization नहीं होती है, diagnosis नहीं होता है, ये half diagnosis होता है. After taking the proper investigation, after taking the proper lab test, we will come to know the root of the disease. Okay, same in the case of encephalitis. Encephalitis is also due to the mosquito. Malaria में कौन सी mosquito रहती है? Females anopheles mosquito. But in the case of encephalitis, mosquito will bite in any body surface, but it will go where? It will go into the brain. It infects the brain, and if the brain is infecting, the symptoms which are appearing in our body are fever, headache, subconsciousness, dizziness. These types of symptoms are appearing. Then we will go to doctor. After certain investigation, this diagnosis will be finalized that you are suffering from encephalitis, and accordingly the immune system responses like fever, pain, headaches is type of immune responses. Okay, so now you all understand how the organs are affected, how the tissues are affected. Okay. Inflammation, you term understand. Inflammation means swelling of the certain body parts by some immune response. हमारी immunity बहुत जरूरी है, because जितनी अच्छी immunity होगी हम disease से fight करने की उतनी ही ज़्यादा resistance होगी. What is immunity? It is a resistance against the disease. अगर हमारी अच्छी immunity है तो we can fight the disease more longer time. But if your immunity is weak, then we are more prone to the disease. Understood? So point of entry, you can understand how the microbes enter, how where they infected, and what the symptoms that will tell about the diagnosis of the disease. Understood? Now immune system also determine the microbes surviving in our body. Okay, if the small amount of microbes is surviving in our body, then the symptoms is unaffected or mild symptoms. But if the large number of the microbes is surviving in our body, then our body will show the life threatening symptoms. So depending upon the number of microbes, and also depending upon our immune system. If our immune system is strong, then it can kill the microbes before entering our body. Okay, so this is all about immune system. Now how the now Let's see, virus which cause AIDS. Now, the virus which causes AIDS and syphilis, how they enter in our body? Their point of entry is through the sexual contact. They can enter and then get directly goes to the lymph nodes and starts destructing the lymph nodes all over the body. And in this way, the AIDS can, because AIDS mainly focus on the immune system, mainly focus on the lymph nodes, starts destructing all the lymph nodes all over the body and starts spreading. Okay, in this way, AIDS and syphilis can be go through the body. Now let's see the principle of the treatment. How now we will diagnose, we will see the principle of treatment. Till here you understood what are the mode of the spread of the disease, how the disease can be targeted, the organs, and which organs target, then the symptoms depending on that organs only. If the liver is targeted, the symptoms like, if the liver is targeted, then symptoms like your elevation in the body, you are having headache, stomach ache. Okay, if the liver, lungs is targeted, then breathlessness, difficulty in breathing. If the brain is targeted, then you, what brain is target, if the brain is targeted, then you may suffer from dizziness, unconsciousness. Okay, so accordingly the symptoms will appear, and after lab test we will find out what the diagnosis is. Okay, now we have the diagnosis, we have finalized the diagnosis by taking various lab tests. What are the principle of treatment? Okay, here we will study the principle of treatment. Principle of treatment are of two types. Okay, first one is reducing the symptoms. Okay, first one is reducing the symptoms. Second one is killing the infectious agent. Killing the infectious agent. Okay, so there are two ways of the principle of treatment. First, reduce the symptoms. Second is killing the infectious agent. Reducing the symptoms, it means that you are just reducing the symptoms. Suppose I'm having cough. Okay, I just go to the medical shop and ask the shopkeeper that I'm having cough. He or she will give the medicine of the cough. Okay, I'm taking the medicine, the cough gets subside within 2 or 3 days, I'm relaxed. But I'm not going the cause of the root of the disease. Okay, now neither the shopkeeper asks me along with the cough any other symptoms you may have. He or she will not ask about this, and I'm also not telling about it. He's just a shopkeeper. I will come with that medicine, take the medicine, and coughs will subside. I'm okay because I'm having simple cold and cough. But what happened if the cough will subside? If will not subside, again I'm having cough after taking the medicine. The cough will be longer, 2 to 3 weeks. Then after 2 weeks I will go to doctor and I'm taking the medicine of the cough, by my disease, my cough is not subsiding. What happened? And also I've noticed that blood is also coming into my sputum, and I've also noticed that I'm having difficulty in breathing. Then he or she will physically examine you. Okay, by tenderness, by palpation, by palpating your organs of the body. Okay, then he will see you, give you some test, and after the test result is coming, the doctor will say, physician will say, you are suffering from the tuberculosis. So reducing the symptoms means you are taking the medicine to reduce the symptoms. You are not going to kill the main cause of the disease. सिर्फ और सिर्फ हम symptoms को ही reduce कर रहे हैं. तो दिस इज द रिड्यूसिंग द सिम्टम्स. जब हमें सिम्टम्स अपीयर हुआ, वी आर टेकिंग द मेडिसिन, वी आर रिड्यूसिंग दैट. ओके, सिम्टम्स ठीक हो गए, फिर ठीक हो गए. फिर अगर वो अराइज हो रहा है, फिर मेडिसिन ले रहे हैं, फिर खत्म हो जा रहा है. अगर स्टमक एक हो रहा है, जब जा रहे हैं पेन किलर ले रहे हैं, ठीक हो जा रहा है. फिर से अगर अराइज हुआ, फिर पेन किलर लिए, फिर ठीक हुए. हम मेन कॉज ऑफ द डिजीज के पास जा ही नहीं रहे, फिजिशियन के पास जा ही नहीं रहे कि वो हमें बताए कि व्हाट आर द मेन कॉज ऑफ द डिजीज. So this is one way of the treatment, कि just reduce the symptoms by taking the drugs from the medical shop without consulting any doctor. Next is killing the infectious agent. Killing the infectious agent means you are basically kill the main cause of disease. Okay, main cause of disease. Suppose if the doctor is diagnosing that you are suffering from the bacterial infection, then doctor will prescribe you the antibiotics, because antibiotics is only and only effective against bacteria. So antibiotic drugs, if you are having bacterial infection, So this will kill the bacteria, because bacteria is what? Your infectious agent. If you are having viral infection, then the doctor will give you antiviral drugs, so it will kill the viral infection. So in this case, in killing of the infectious agent through these drugs, antibiotic and antiviral drugs, we are killing the bacteria, or we are killing the virus, which is the main cause of our disease. So this is the better way of the treatment, is kill the infectious agent, either reducing the symptoms. You first know what are the cause of the disease, what are the root where the disease is arising. After knowing that, the doctor will prescribe you which medicine is best for it. So in this way, we are killing the infectious agent. So there are two ways of principle of treatment. First, reduce the symptoms by taking any analgesics or antibiotics. Second is killing the infectious agent by taking the proper medicine, which is the medicine of the disease which you are suffering. Okay, already I had discussed about your antibiotic in the previous classes. Ki antibiotic is only and only for the bacteria, not for the virus. Okay, antibiotic will not kill the viral species, it will only kill the bacterial species. Okay, and antiviral drugs is also, it will kill only the virus, not kill the bacteria. So it is specific for their species, and I have told the biochemical process in the last class only. So next class we will study about the principle of prevention, which is short topic, and next class is your chapter will be over. Till now you go through what my notes and solve all the questions which I am given. Thank you.